Hello and welcome to a new video, and today is going to be another rendering video. This time I'm going to be trying this new technique, painting setting thing, and just like the last rendering video, I also have a tablet to show you. This was sent by HUION and it's called the Kamvas 13 Gen 3. Let me tell you some details about it. It retails for 249 bucks, which I would say is pretty reasonable for a screen tablet, but it is also on sale right now. I saw on the website. And this tablet also comes with this pen, which has some new features. If you want to know more details, I'll list some notes on the screen. So here's the tablet. The screen has a nice paper texture on it, and it is anti-glare. And as you can see, it also has a lot of buttons on the side, which you can customize. So that's very cool. And Pog. And this tablet can also be used not only as a screen tablet, but like as a regular drawing tablet without the display. And they also have a mode for left-handed people if you want the buttons to be on the other side. So that is very nice. Anyways, I'm going to be making this painting with this tablet, and then I'll tell you my thoughts on it at the end. Okay, so first I'm just starting with the base layer, and I'm using this textured brush, and it also has this color jitter effect, so already there's gonna be some textures and colors happening. And then I realized that I wanted this golden color peeking through, so I just chose this color and I made the whole layer this color. Okay, and when you use the textured brush on top of it, it shows through so beautifully. Yes. I feel like Ruinjia has a lot of gold that comes through in his art, and I really like how that looks. So you can say I'm copying him. Not in an illegal way though. Anyways, add a super loose sketch underneath, but now I'm gonna refine it because I have no idea what I'm looking at. Okay, now I'm going to switch the angle. I'm gonna switch to a screen recording instead of a camera of my screen. So I wanted to make a more cozy, naturey painting. So these fellas, they're just they're cuddling. Okay, just some roommates. And I wanted to draw a deer because I did. It's kind of messed up though, because in their story, okay, in the lore, one of them is actually a hunter, so he hunts down deers, and then they end up hunting down the deer for its blood, you know, as vegan vampires. You probably already knew that, obviously. But this deer right here is alive. Maybe this is, you know, this is when they're bonding with nature. Okay, now I'm gonna place more of the base colors, and I'm gonna try this technique. This is the new technique I'm going to try. So basically, I was looking at this one artist I really like, and I noticed that a lot of the brushstrokes have like this outline effect. So I was like, how can I create this? And so what I did was I made a new layer, and Clip Studio Paint has this layer effect that basically puts a border on anything you draw in the layer. So I just turned that on, and it gave it this painterly effect because the darker color was coming through, and it just gave it more texture and stuff. So that was so interesting. It made it kind of look like impressionist paintings back in the day, but I'm doing it on my computer because I'm too lazy to use real paint, you know what I mean? So yeah, guys, that's actually the truth about why I do digital art. It's because I'm lazy. Okay, anyways, again, these are just the basic colors, but because we have the color jitter, the textured brush, and the outline effect, it's giving so much interest already to the piece. Okay, and then of course we gotta add a circle because I like adding circles into my compositions, and it's gonna be this like red moon thing because red complements green. There's a lot of greens going on, and it's like Christmas. This is a Christmas painting. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I'm also gonna add lots of adorable bunnies. I think the white bunnies kind of tie into like the white hair on the character. And then I'm going to be adding these tree leaves, and it's kind of going in a spiral pattern, and I'm making it frame the subject. and I like spirals. Okay, and then here let's talk about what the lighting situation is. So basically what I wanted is everything is lit up by the sun, but the characters are half in shadow. So it gives it kind of like a feeling of peacefulness since they're in the shadow and it's chill. And everything in the sunlight is gonna be more saturated in the color. And I'm trying to experiment with different border colors of the layers, and I found out that what mostly worked was gray, because gray wasn't too contrasting, but also it was enough to emphasize the texture. But for one of the layers I decided to do a golden border, and I thought that looked really nice, especially since it was also the layer with the shadows. As you can see, the color bordering the shadows on the characters, you can see it's more yellow. And it kind of reminded me of the effect. I don't know what it's called, but I'll leave some examples on the screen. But I think it happens when the sunlight is hitting and then there's a sharp shadow, and then bordering the shadow is a saturated color, and it looks really nice. I noticed some people add this effect to a lot of their shadows, so it's like stylistic exaggeration, and it looks nice. Then I noticed some empty space in this area. So I'm going to add some mountains, and I'm also making these mountains like a different hue than all the other colors because it's gonna add more interest, make it more interesting to add a slightly different color into the mix. I'm also kind of adding this glowing effect around the characters just to make them pop out more from the background. And then I add some more saturated colors behind the deer ear to make the deer silhouette pop out. It's poppin'. So I've just been placing down the basic idea with the layer border technique and all that stuff. Now I'm going to make a layer on top once again, but this time I'm just gonna refine it without the layer border effect just so I have more control. And I'm also gonna be adding more definition with these outlines. We're adding luscious lashes. That is a necessity, by the way. When I mentally get into this second stage of rendering, we're gonna start using the smaller brushes and we're gonna start zooming in more in order to make and carve those details. Okay, so I've actually made a new layer because I wanted to draw the eyelashes, but I wanted it to have an outline on it. And guys, this is random, but I think I forgot how to draw masculine faces because I don't know, I just like drawing pretty faces. What can I say? Arrest me. But you know, everyone usually thinks my characters are girls. That's okay. That's just interesting. And you know what? It's fine. It's fine. I don't have to draw masculine faces. Anyways, we are tying back in the red with these flowers in the hair. Okay, you see what I'm putting down. Don't really know what this hairstyle is, but it's something. This guy's got a lot of hair. They're actually twinning. Thank you for asking why. If you wanted to know the lore, it's because, okay, when they meet, this guy has this hair claw from this important person from his past. I'm talking about the white-haired one. Sorry, I should have clarified. So, but he doesn't know what to do with it. Okay, he's stupid. He's a dumb bitch. He doesn't know what the hell is a hair claw. And then he sees his Pookie, and then he's putting up his hair. Okay, the black-haired is putting up his hair in this half updo. So then he's like, oh, I see. So what if I do that? And you know, that's the fun fact behind why they have matching hairstyles. But also, the white-haired one is a dumb bitch, so he doesn't know how to use the hair claw. So then they have a scene. There's gonna be a scene. Okay, I'm cooking, where the black-haired one helps him put up his hair. Okay, you see what I'm putting down? You see what? Okay, anyways. So I'm also, whenever there's details that I want outlined, I'm just gonna use an outline layer. And I really like the effect of the background color poking out from the shoulder armor piece, so I'm totally just gonna let it stay there. I'm letting parts of the first base layer pop out. It's gonna add a lot of texture. Okay, period. Anyways, what are we doing? I'm rendering this whack-ass deer because, it needs to be rendered, and I'm using reference because I don't know how to draw a deer. And yes, I did make it stare into the soul of the viewer, but that's what my reference looked like, so it's not like it was my fault. It wasn't. I think it gives it a meaning. The meaning is that the deer is looking at you, and you should feel something from that. It's judging you. So it has come to my attention that there's actually a specific effect you can put on your brush to give it a border. So then I was like, oh my god, what if I do it? So basically what this is so if you go into your brush settings, which is the little wrench thing, and then there's this one setting called watercolor edge, and it gives every stroke an outline. So it's gonna be different from using the layer outline because every single stroke is gonna be outlined. But let's try it and see if the world explodes. Basically, you can't choose the border color, but it basically just gives a darker outline to the stripe, to the brush stroke. And so now we're gonna see a lot of brush strokes, and I really like this effect because it just makes it look so painterly. And I feel like you don't have to put in a lot of effort, and it really makes the painting so interesting, and it gives it the feeling of detail. So we're just refining everything, cleaning up the edges, making those shapes more defined. And I'm also gonna be giving these bunnies evil red eyes because we are tying in the red once again. Once again, we are tying in the red. Thank you. Also, I just been noticing this, but there's a really disturbing tangent with the leaf branch thing and the mountain. Just really weirdly intercepting. No, they're not intercepting. It's just not right, but I'm too lazy to fix it. So we're just gonna have to live with this. You know, in real life, there's gonna be tangents, okay? So actually, this is realistic. It's realistic to have a tangent once in a while. And you can see as I render out the background more, all those brush strokes are making it look so interesting because of the outline effect. Okay, I'm really hammering this in because, I don't know, that's just the main idea of the story. I hope you're writing this down. There will be a quiz at the end of the class, and it is a major grade. It is actually 80% of your grade. Also adding some more details like flowers in the bushes and some those are called butterflies. These details are gonna kind of act as sparkles because they're sparkles. Then I'm kind of manually adding in these outlines to refine it even more. Then I'm making sure the sky background has this clearer gradient happening just to make it seem more cohesive. Some of the colors in the foreground are really similar to the background, so I'm just making sure they're separated so you have that feeling of depth. Depth. And obviously we need to add some earrings, some very fashionable earrings. So these are the finishing touches. While we are doing the finishing touches, let's talk about my tablet review. This drawing took about 3 hours. This is only what my thoughts are for working on this tablet for 3 hours. So I would say this model is pretty comparable to my Wacom 1 tablet. That tablet retailed for $300 and I've been drawing on that for 3 years. But this HUION, it's kind of known as a cheaper brand, so it's gonna be $249, but typically there's sales on both of these and you can also buy them used, so you could definitely find these for cheaper. But anyways, I basically didn't run into any problems using this tablet, except there was a little hiccup with the driver, but I just unplugged it and replugged it and it worked fine. So yeah, it was very comfortable. The screen feels really nice. It's not slippery. It's like just feels like smooth paper, and the colors also match my other screens, so that's good. And also speaking of the screen is like about 11.5 inches wide. I think it's a really good size, but I've been working with this size forever, so I don't know, it all depends on what kind of screen size you like working on. I would rate this tablet 9 out of 10 just for my 3-hour drawing experience, but I don't know how reliable this tablet is. I don't know if it will last really long, but those are my thoughts. So yeah, thanks HUION for this tablet. I will be giving it to someone else who needs a tablet because I already have a tablet. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned something, and leave a comment and maybe even subscribe. Leave a comment about if you like vampires too, because I like vampires. Here's some draw this in your style entries. Thank you so much. You can still join it, by the way. Yeah, more notes in the community tab. Okay, yeah, thanks. Stay hydrated, everyone. Goodbye.